Annyeonghaseyo, bitches, and welcome back to another episode of G&A Podcast Reviews. My name
Somebody's
is
drunk
Doobie
and
Doo,
we're high.
and this is my very judgy co-host.
Soberoni.
And apparently I can't have any fucking fun saying hello in Korean
No fun
with
allowed.
a southern accent. Apparently that's not fucking allowed. So I guess we're
That's
just going to
offensive.
continue like this. We're going to just continue like this and just get right to it. Because
unless you want to do a whole episode in accents.
I can't. My accents are awful.
Yeah, we all know that.
But yeah, maybe one day. Maybe one day when we are definitely drunk enough.
Yes.
But let's get into it because we have very specific animes that we need to talk about in great detail. So let's not waste any time at all. Let's just go. Akiba Strip.
Right.
Take it away.
Akiba Strip. Yu-Gi-Oh episode. Yu-Gi-Oh the episode, basically. Tomotsu. I'm not even gonna. Tomotsu just ends up dueling one of the bugged ones in this Yu-Gi-Oh style match and ends up winning. And of course, this is like the only time where it was appropriate, where if you win the match and then the other person's clothes just fly off of him.
Yeah, actually, because that's like
but all the parodies were so on point this episode. Like there was so much attention to detail with the characters they were using, were down to the cards they were using being specific spoofs of Yu-Gi-Oh cards and specific spoofs of specific scenes in Yu-Gi-Oh.
Yeah,
there was. Even the opening was so over dramatic, like, since the dawn of the ancient era, people have been using card games to decide important events. And even in the U.S. presidential election, card games were used to decide. Like, they went hard with the parody.
Yeah. Just out of curiosity, like, first of all, I doubt Hillary would lose to him in any card game unless the card game based literally solely on luck. Secondly, I don't know, maybe what kind of deck would she run? I think she's like the kind of stally control.
Stally control. I feel like Donald would just run the cheapest deck. He would just buy the most expensive cards.
Yeah.
Just run the cheapest Yu-Gi-Oh deck you can find, just win.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, also as someone who who used to play Magic the Gathering a lot, this episode truly resonated with me.
And as somebody who used to play Yu-Gi-Oh a lot, this episode resonated with me even more. I don't want to name any specific decks because I haven't played in like a few years, so I know my shit is way out of date. Because I know Yu-Gi-Oh's turnover is incredible.
Oh yeah, boy, you're telling me is what I would say, but then Magic was like, oh well, we can be super different and have lots of new shit too.
But before we stray into Magic versus Yu-Gi-Oh, my favorite part of the episode was actually Mayo, because she kept playing like the straight man that would point out all the
exactly. Yeah, that was really funny. He kept
tropes and cliches. Like at one point, she was like, "Listen, they're just playing a card game. Why don't we just attack him while his guard is down and we're outnumbering him?" or she they're having like this epic duel and you see all the special effects and stuff. And from Mayo's point of view, it's just two people sitting down on the table playing cards. But the best one was when she, like they do in Yu-Gi-Oh, where fucking Yu-Gi-Oh say something like, "Actually, my Celtic Guardian has a second effect." And then,
that part was
somebody acts super surprised, and then she was like, "You can read the text on the card. Why are you acting surprised when he announces it has a special effect?"
And then at one point where they're just like, "Oh, I pay this, that negates your ability. I negate this, that negates your ability. Negate."
That is literally Yu-Gi-Oh! At the point, like that is, I negate your negation. I negate your negation of my negation of your negation. Like, I've had that happen a few times. The only issue I had was that the whole first half kind of sucked because it was building up to the duel when it didn't have to. Like, you don't need logic in this show. The show could just open with them dueling each other and been a giant duel for the whole episode.
I like the first episode because it was like, literally, first of all, you and I both can identify with Arisa struggle of getting a pack.
Okay, that first scene, the first scene was good with Arisa trying to open the packs. But after that, the whole like they were like in a restaurant or something and shit was going down. Like that whole part was like, nah.
I don't know. I thought,
but yeah, that Arisa scene was good.
I don't know. I enjoyed it because they're all like, circle crushers. Because
that Arisa scene was literally me in Shadowverse yesterday. So.
That was me in Shadowverse on Friday, guys. I mean, we're not sponsored by Shadowverse, but if you guys
definitely not. I wish we were, because now we get such shit cards.
Yeah, right. But definitely, if you're into card games, give it a try. It's literally just like the more, just not like a harder version of Yu-Gi-Oh, or Magic, but like, yeah, I think you said it best, Silveroni, when you said like if Magic and Yu-Gi-Oh had a baby, that would be Shadowverse.
Yeah. Okay, so should we move on?
Yes, let's. Chaos Child. All right, a lot of stuff happened. So episode begins with like after the funeral. Kurusu talks with Taku, and she starts talking about Senri's childhood, which makes sense because they were friends, and they're talking, and she's talking how she was very not what's the word not inclusive, but she was very, no, she wasn't that either. She was just very withdrawn. No, an introvert, true introvert. Didn't really talk to anyone, and she's like, "Oh, mom, I want to be more open and fun like everyone else." So mom's like, "We can do that for you. Let's go to this hospital where essentially they're gonna experiment on you until you become a normal person, quote unquote." So yeah, so they just run tests, and at first it's just Rorschach tests, the 11th Rorschach test, and everything seems great. And then they start dipping into the more unethical experiments, which makes her life not as fun. Then she eventually befriends Kurusu, and then they have this friendship, and it's all nice and stuff. Then one day, she what does she do? Oh yeah, she's walking with her mom to the clinic. Then that's when the earthquake happened. Her mother's killed, and then you see Kurusu trapped under some pavement, about to die. And Senri's like, "Oh my god, don't die, don't die, don't die, don't die, please don't die." And then you kind of see her die, and then Senri freaks out, and she's like, "Yo, it should have been me. Like, she shouldn't die. It should be me." And she keeps saying that over and over, and then all of a sudden, she kind of just becomes Kurusu, like as in a doppelganger.
Makes sense.
So plot twist: Senri is actually Kurusu. Kurusu, the real Kurusu, actually died in the earthquake, and Senri just used her psychic powers to literally just become her in terms of like physical likeness and whatnot. So I guess that's pretty a moot point about Senri being a killer, because she's, Senri's actually Kurusu, and Kurusu didn't kill anyone. So, so that was a pretty big reveal. Then for some reason, for 10 years, they go on like, "Whoa, the killer's MO is mind control and all," and they like go in all these ways of how she will trick like mind control to killing themselves. And I'm like, "Oh, duh!" Like Ito did not say, "Hey, let me just go and kill my best friend's little sister." So yeah, that was the one that I didn't like about this episode. It was really like unnecessary to explain that, because I thought it was pretty like heavily implied at this point. Although it is interesting to learn like that even the psychics themselves, like Arisa and Takuru, they were mind controlled as well for a while, but they weren't outright killed like the others. So it's pretty interesting as to why they're being kept alive. I like that kind of mystery, and I'm looking forward to see why. The last bit is Ito, the one who killed Yui, he's not dead. Fun fact, not dead. He's actually very much alive. Apparently, someone approached him in the club room and literally pointed a picture to Yui and said, "Kill this girl." And then apparently someone intercepted him while he's trying to run away, and he can't remember anything else since then. So there's two culprits, that much we know, that are working together. And then the last of the episode, Kurusu goes missing after watching a video of the victim killing himself. Like a couple of weeks ago, there was a video released of some otaku dude, like he kills himself. I forget how he did, but apparently she heard something in the background audio that made her freak out, and then she left. And Takuru, I think he heard it and it was like, bitch, you're going to get yourself killed. Stop it. Then that's where it leads off. So I'm looking forward to next week and to see what they're going to encounter next.
All right. So then Demi-chan.
Oh boy.
So it opens up with
the best scene ever.
The best scene ever, yeah. It really, really kind of, even for this show, it was kind of intense in terms of like its sexual explicitness.
Like, it's pretty like the most they've done so far.
Yeah. Of course it was Sato though, so it's not totally inappropriate. But Sato is fantasizing, and she gets a call from Ugaki, and he convinces her to try to use her succubus charm on Takahashi, and she tries, but ends up actually becoming closer to him because he gives her this whole alternate explanation of why it's not as effective as she thinks it is, and all that shit. Ends up backfiring when she gets her boobs caught in the zipper of her tracksuit. But then the second half of the episode was Yuki trying to figure out how to use her powers better so that she can stay cold during the summer. And that part of the episode was just a really long, like, just string of Yuki, Machi, and Hikari moments. So overall, I think it was a pretty good episode, especially that opening scene. That opening scene was the highlight of the episode.
Absolutely.
And I much like Sato was cute. Sato was low on my list before, but now she's like second behind Hikari.
Yeah, I've always liked Sato from the beginning. So, like, at first Yuki was kind of beating her, but now it's like now she's coming up in front again. Like, I really hate how this episode keeps making like them all so likable. Like, each episode where they have their own thing, they just get even more, like, they all just keep getting better and better and better. Like, watch, next week are all going to be all like, oh, Machi's the best.
Yeah, too many good characters. And when they get the spotlight, they, like, shine all the time. Ironically, though, Hikari wasn't that impressive this episode. She was actually very subdued.
Yeah, which I'm okay with. Like, it can't be
she shouldn't be eating up the screen time all the time. But, I don't know. I was just surprised to see her not do that much when she was in the episode. But yeah, no,
I'm okay with it.
pretty bit of that Ugaki scene on the phone in the beginning was a bit too long for my taste, but other than that, I enjoyed it. And Sato is
also he was like almost kind of like what he does for like a living. I mean, he is, but he isn't. He's like giving a succubus the okay to use her powers, even though it's not to like do anything bad, but it's like.
He was very different from his other earlier appearance.
Yeah, now
he's actually liked him. I liked him this episode. I did not like his original appearance.
Yeah, now he's being all like creepy and like, go seduce men.
Use your powers.
Yeah.
And I guess what's next? Fuka or no? There's
no episode of Fuka this week. It will be back next week, so do not fret. For now, we do have why can't I not find it? Oh, Gabriel Dropout. Okay. Gabriel Dropout this week. So basically what happens is Raphael bra is too tight, which sucks for her because it's physical examinations, not physical as in like a doctor, like as in like physical gym exams. Funny enough, the person that shines in throughout these exams is Titania because she just happens to be really athletic, and Raphael is too, but her bra is like so tight, like she can't really do anything. But then Titania gets a really big head, and they're like, okay, we can't deal with her being like this like all week. Like, nah, we need to knock her down a peg or two. So they definitely collude to like stop her from winning. And then Raphael is just like, I will sacrifice myself just so Titania can't win. And I'm just like, yes, that's the best kind of spite. The spite where you sacrifice pieces of yourself just to fuck over other people. It's the best. So that first part was really good. The next part is where Vinay and Titania have interviews.
I forgot about this part.
Yeah, they have an interview with their teacher, and to prep, Titania got advice from literally a story of like the worst interviews, and now she's under the impression that these are the best ways to conduct an interview. And just the entire time, she's just saying shit, and Vinay is like just trying to not fall apart. And then it gets to a point where Titania is being so bad that Vinay is actually getting flustered and distracted. And then Titania is like, wait, but I'm going to save you by like saying something really cool. And that actually helps Vinay like refocus herself and finish off the interview very well. Funny enough, the teacher didn't like say anything once until Vinay left, and he was like, you, Titania, get your ass back here. You can't just talk to me like that. And then the last part, Gabriel, more or less, she's broke and hungry, so she pretends to be interested in the cooking club just to get free food. Cooking club that the class president is a part of. They essentially, it's just a bunch of funny scenes of them making food, and they're just bluntly don't even care that she just wants to eat their food. It's really funny how like the class president, even though she's all into cooking club, she's actually the one member who can't even cook, which is kind of funny. And then toward the end, it's funny because the food is so good, she like promises to send them all to heaven. And then she's like, what kind of authority do you have to do that? And then the other two girls are like, yay, we're going to heaven. And she's like, you guys shouldn't sound so happy about that. And then like literally the last scene is I forget what happens or how it happens. Basically, they like, oh yeah, so Tanya thinks that Raphael is like trying to like trip her up and fuck with her, and she's not. And then all of a sudden, like this frog appears, and then Raphael is like, and then Titania's like, justice reigns from above.
Yes, perfect explanation of the last part of the episode.
I don't remember it that much. It seemed really.
That was literally the best part of the episode. Though. Yeah, it was raining, and then Ralphie was actually trying to be nice and offer Titania her umbrella, and Titania was like, "No, this is some bullshit you're trying to pull on me." And every 5 seconds, like she went out of her way, like every puddle she saw, she thought it was a trap in there, or like she thought the dog was gonna kill her. And then Raphael was like, I'm just trying to be good and nice. And then at the end of the storm, like a frog pops out, and then Titania's like, "Oh, look at this nice frog!" And Raphael's like halfway across the block, like, "That is a nice frog. Put it down." And then she figures out that Raphael's like terrified of frogs and starts chasing her with the frog. And then Raphael, for the first time, like lets out an actual really good like scream and
and like freaks out.
Put down the frog.
It's pretty funny. Good, solid episode.
It was. That's actually my episode of the week because it did the whole thing. Like, I like the episode because Satania actually ended up flipping everything on its head, and she ended up being the bully towards Raphael. Both parts of the episode, in the frog part and in the beginning with the whole race, because even though Raphael ends up beating her in a race, her bra ends up snapping, and so she's technically the loser of that exchange. So it's good to see Satania actually win a few things for once, and Raphael be on the other end of the stick.
Agreed.
Yep. And the interview scene was great too.
Yeah. Wait. So for the next one, do you want me to do that one? Just because?
Because is it because
no, not because I want to do Kuzu. No, because if not, then you're gonna be doing Kuzu no Honkai.
That's what I was gonna say. Because wait, I'm gonna do what? Kuzu no Honkai and what?
And then Little Witch Academia.
Oh yeah, you're right. All right, so then you do Maid Dragon then.
Okay. So for Maid Dragon, essentially for some reason, like the first time ever, like Kobayashi and Toru have conflict, but it's not even that big of a deal. Essentially, they decide to have a bento cook-off for Kana. And excuse me. And just, I don't know, hilarity ensues. I can't think of a lot of scenes from that bit that like stick out to me, except for the part where Toru goes back to her world just to get a get a plant? Question mark?
I don't know what that was.
Yeah, I don't know what it was either. But either way, it was against the rules to use something from not Earth. So by default, Kobayashi ends up winning. Then a new character. Finally, I love the title of the episode. Like, Oma, she finally comes because she's in the opening and ending for like ever. But yeah,
they wait like 8 or 9 episodes into the season to bring.
Yeah, exactly. Like 8 episodes. That's like ridiculous. But no, she's almost finally introduced. She crawls through the dimension over that Kobayashi makes. And she's like, oh, she's like, yeah, fight me, Toru. Apparently they hate each other because it's from opposing factions. And then Toru is like, here, let's go to this alternate dimension place. And she's like, all right, let's go. And then she just locks her away or closes the door and leaves Elma stranded on another continent, which was really funny. I think Elma eventually comes back and then starts yelling. And then I think Kobayashi like says something to her, and then Elmo's like, "Oh, you human, what are you doing even talking?" And then Kobayashi shuts her shit down. She's like, that's really funny because you're the one who's actually intruding. You're the one who came in and destroyed my place. So what the hell are you talking about?" So shouts to Kobayashi for still being a fucking G. I love how she just like back talks like dragons at this point. Like she doesn't even care.
Even like Fafnir and them.
Yeah. So right. I'm sorry, I'm skimming down my notes. So basically Alma starts working with Kobayashi. I guess she's like a temp agent or something. And they start working at the same company, and Kobayashi shows her the ropes. And they start like hanging out ish a little outside of work. And then Toru starts smelling Alma on her. And then Toru eventually follows them, I believe. And she just gets insanely jealous, and which leads to like I don't know, it's like a cute scene where all she just wants is to be loved, and I'm just like, aw,
I actually like that dynamic because it was Kobayashi, or rather Toru, saying that she feels like unloved because Kobayashi's not showering her with affection all the time, and then Kobayashi being like, "No, I'm not used to being loved." Like in actual, she was like a kind of a loner, so she's like doesn't have any friends or anything, so she's not used to being loved, so therefore she's not used to giving out so much love, and it was just a really real kind of moment.
Yeah,
sounds kind of realistic, where you would have one person who's wants to be showered with affection, but the other person is not that type of person to shower someone else with affection.
Yeah, essentially that was a good ending. It was a really cute scene. I really liked it. Also random scenes like I've noticed how they always do like little short scenes. Like usually they would do it with like Hana. Yeah, usually they do a Hana. This week they did it with Koto. I don't know how to say her full name.
Lukoa.
Whatever. I got confused with the with the Pokemon from like a ROM hack that I played. But yeah, basically the boy that summoned her, like he kept having like these like nightmares where he's like something squishy is touching her, and that ends up actually being like her boobs. It was funny.
Yeah. That was actually the only really funny part of the episode. I don't know, the episode wasn't that funny overall.
Yeah, agreed.
Not that it was bad, it just wasn't as funny. I liked Alma though.
Yeah, I like Alma. She's a good addition, and is like one of the only dragon I can think of that doesn't outright kill humans. So far.
So then we have Konosuba. In sharp contrast, this episode.
I think this is like the second best one.
So it opens up with shit. I should have made this an episode of the week, but no. It opens up with right where I left off, with the herd of the monsters chasing after Darkness, and then they just jump over her, and Kazuma and the rest try to use her as bait to attract them into this like cave, and then get Megumin to use explosion on the cave and kill them all. But they tie her to the end of the wagon and start speeding off, and she's just rolling on the dirt all over the place, like being dragged behind the wagon, and she's just loving it.
Loves it.
Yeah, she's just having like the time of her life, and they're just looking at Kazuma like he's a fucking sicko for doing it. Actually, there was one part where like Cosmo just picks her up and throws her at the cave so they can chase her. And then she's like, I love it. And like mid sentence, she just like falls flat on her face and it looks like she gets killed. Like her neck snaps. But they eventually do that and get to the village, the hot spring village, which is filled with followers of Aqua's cult, the Axis cult, and they all praise and worship Aqua. They don't know that Aqua's their goddess yet, I don't think, but they basically praise and worship her. And the whole episode is Kazuma and Darkness walking around town, and because that Darkness is a fan of Eris's cult, or I guess follower of Eris's religion, they all hate her as much as Aqua hates Eris. So every time she brings it up, they just spit and walk away, but she just gets turned on by it. At one point, they bring her to they go to a restaurant, and this mate or this waitress just comes and is like, "Oh, here's your water, sir. Oh, and for the Eris follower," and she just puts like this dog bowl with a bone on the floor. And then Doctor's like, "Can we please move here?" but throughout the whole thing, like every twist and turn, everybody they meet is just trying to get Kazuma to sign up to join the cult. And they're like super Jehovah Witnesses, where they use every crazy method as possible to just try to get him, to trick him into joining their religion.
My God, yeah.
At the end, this little girl who falls over, he goes to pick her up, and she's like, oh, and they're sharing like this moment together, and then she's like, how do you say your name? How do you spell it? And he's like, oh, let me see. And she gives him a piece of paper, and it's actually like the application for him to join the religion, and he just tears it apart and freaks out because everyone is so brainwashed and crazy. So I love this episode, and I really want to see next week because I'm hoping we get to see like Aqua's side of the story, which I'm sure is going to be like her having the best time of her life.
Absolutely. Also, one thing that she left out is the scene where they were sleeping and they were attacked by zombies.
Oh,
once
right,
again, and once again, it's because of Aqua's fault for attracting them. But once again, everyone assumes that they're just happy
like they're great heroes.
Yeah. And then Cosmo is just like he is so wrought with guilt. I feel so bad for him because he's just like he knows everything is their fault, and all the other ones don't even seem to like are like totally accept it or like oh whatever. Yeah. Good episode.
It was a really good episode. I really liked it.
Yeah. Speaking of episodes that I liked, was this my episode of the week?
Is it? Oh right, Kuzu.
Oh, no, it might be. I think if it isn't, I think it may be tied. Kuzu no Honkai. All right. So this new character arrives. Atsuya, who is Et-chan's cousin.
Yeah.
Question mark. Like yeah. Okay. Not crazy. And once again, it's another unrequited love situation. Which, in this case kind of makes sense because, incest. And I don't know, it kind of annoyed me how he kind of just rationalized Et-chan's sexuality just to make it seem like he has a shot of getting with her. Like, you're with a woman? It's whatever. Like, you don't like her.
I knew that was going to rub you the wrong way, by the way. I saw that coming from a mile away.
How condescending is that? Like, you can't just, like, use such stupid, like...
Well, I don't think it was that she was even... I think that it was just that...
Just to say that, oh, no, you...
I think what I was getting at was that she's not a lesbian. She just doesn't see gender. Yeah. So
and I get that, but like, I don't know. I think he's not saying that because he's actually done research on it. I think he's just saying that just to, like I said.
I don't think he's a fucking doctorate in psychology or anything, in sexual psychology. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, he's just saying that to give himself a shot at her.
Yeah, which is stupid. I didn't really care too much about it. Yeah, I don't care. Basically, after that, the really important part is that Hana and Mugi go off to confess to their loved ones. And ironically, this part it's a critique about Hana. And I hate how, like, there are times where it's like she should really say something, and then for some reason she just doesn't. And I don't know why, but she just doesn't speak. And I'm like, and I know this happens in anime more often than not, but like for her, I feel like it's, especially for matters of the heart, which can like change a lot of things. You should open your mouth. Like when they were talking to each other before they left to like confess, like, she should have made her feelings about Mugi known. I don't know why she didn't. Like, she didn't do anyone any favors. And, well, you know what? I guess maybe it didn't really matter. Maybe it really didn't matter.
Also, before we get there, you missed the whole part where they weren't just like talking to each other. First off, it started off with them trying to do homework together.
Oh yeah, homework, and then
literally the first time that they've ever been together without trying to have sex with each other. And then of course, like 2 minutes later, it ended up with them trying to have sex with each other.
They're not trying to have sex; they're just making out.
Well, they were making out, but I'm pretty sure that wasn't like the end goal of the ordeal.
You can make out with people and not have sex with them.
In Kuzu no Honkai, can they make out with each other and not have sex on their mind?
They've done it multiple times.
Only because Hana doesn't want to have sex with Mugi.
whatever. Anyways, so they go to confess. It's I kind of should I tell in order? I kind of just want to get through like Hana shit because that's not even like the interesting part to me.
Yeah, it's just you don't have to do it. Just say Hana.
Yeah, okay. So let's go to Hana. Basically, Hana once again because I don't know how Sobroni is like, oh, she doesn't love him.
God.
I mean, there's just like these
episodes
and episodes and episodes upon episodes of these flashbacks of him being for her, and of course, those feelings can develop into love over 10 years. But you know, of course, that apparently that doesn't fucking happen.
Yeah, because you know, I love the person who, like, I don't know, when I was a kid, picked up $1 for me and gave it to me or something. Yeah, I'm in love with that person now. 10 years later.
Oh my god! You know,
it doesn't make any logical
do that. He literally was there to comfort her when her dad walked out.
Continue. I get the reason why. Like, it's a reason. I'm just saying it's not a good reason that's backed up by anything in the present. That's all. It's literally like a fill-in-the-blank template reason that just is there to, like, we need a reason for them to love each other. How about 10 years ago, he was there when her father walked out on her? Deal? Let's move on with the rest of the shit.
That was all that happened. They grew up together, and they had moments together.
It's all right. It's not the best written love story ever. Can you at least grant me that? Like, you make it sound like this is like some
I'll give you
Shakespearean thing.
I know, but
it's not.
I'm not saying it's not the best. It's not the best.
Even in the show, it's not the best. Like,
it's not because it's actually not the whole point of it. Like, they're just trying to establish that, which I think they established it more or less. Yes, like
they established it with minimal effort.
Anyways, basically, they have one more wonderful, and it's so funny because you were like, oh, I wish they had a scene where they would do something that showed it, and then they have that scene where they're like walking hand in hand. He starts crying that because she's so grown, well, quote unquote grown. Like, that was a wonderful, touching scene, but apparently not enough for her to fall in love with him.
Oh, it was not a wonderfully touching scene. Now you're just eating like all this fucking. She's sucking.
Anyway,
you're sucking his dick harder than Hana wants to suck his dick right now. So.
Anyway, first of all, I have no opinion about this Kanai guy. I'm just saying she loves him. That's all. Anywho. So basically, she confesses and gets rejected.
Yeah,
that's literally it. And we'll go back to that after I explain what happens to Mugi. So Mugi more or less confesses the same to Akane, and then it gets really interesting because it's not just like, oh, shut down. Mugi's like, he was actually choosing like. Or I was implied that he was actually going to choose Hana over her because she was just like, well, Akane being awful, he was like, and he's been being aware of it. It's like, you're an awful person. Like, you're just an awful person. Like, I love you, or think I loved you, but you're an awful person. And Hana is not as awful. And I know before Silveroni gets into that, that's just how he perceives things. Before you go and nail Hana to the wall. but yeah. But then fucking Akane, she's like, oh, you're in love with me. I like you too. And then he's like, no, you really don't. He's like, no, I like you too. And he's like, you really don't. Like, you're fucked up. And then she's like, well, then why are you confessing to me? And then basically one thing leads to another. She more or less seduces him into a hotel room. And Mugi is just like... Mugi is like, I still care for Hana and I still intend to be with her, but it's like, I'm almost enticed by the fact or by the challenge of changing you into like a decent human being that I can't help but just like trying it or attempting it. And eventually he gives in to temptation and sleeps with her. which is super, which makes it even more like soul crushing because at the end Hana gets after Hana gets rejected, she's like, well, at least I won't be alone.
Which is stupid because she knows who Akane is. So I don't know why she thinks that Akane isn't gonna fuck the shit out of Mugi.
And then that's so awful because once again Akane just takes, like, she literally did it again. Like, how did Akane do it twice? That is awful. She did it twice to her. Oh my god.
Akane to Hana nothing. But
I know.
So let me clear up this whole verse before I get into what I liked about the episode, because I did like the episode before it comes off like I'm just some bitter fucking hater or something. I did like this episode. But before you throw my name through the mud, I hate Hana and her so-called love interest, because it's so shallow. That's my major problem. It's just shallow. It's literally just, he was nice to me when I was younger, so I love him. Everybody else's romance dynamic is so much more thought out and so much better and so much deeper.
Mugi and Akane.
No, how's Mugi and Akane's relationship better? Because you have the whole, she was nice to me when I was younger, but Mugi's in particular he's confusing lust for love because he thinks he can change her and he thinks that, oh, I can do all this stuff, and she knows he can't, but she wants to take advantage of him anyway, and he just thinks he loves her when in fact he just wants to have sex with her. That's their whole dynamic. Mocha's dynamic with Mugi is he's the ideal lover to her, and he keeps goading her on and teasing her by taking her on dates and shit when he knows he's conflicted with himself and she's conflicted with herself on whether they should go forward. There's like so much, and Echan, this whole new dynamic with her not really being a lesbian and just wanting to reciprocate the love that Hana has shown her. There's like so much more intricacies in all the romances in this show except Hana and Kanai. It's the most boring, vanilla, plain, oh, he was nice to me and was there for me when I was a kid, so I love him.
I mean, that's kind of what happens when people like.
No,
I know it's gonna sound almost hypocritical, but like, especially for a melodrama. But it's like there can be a romance that's not like literally fueled by like some super fucked up notion of love. Maybe she could just love him for those special moments.
It doesn't even have to be a fucked up. No, it doesn't have to be a fucked up. Like Mocha's notion of love. Mocha's notion of love isn't really fucked up. She just thinks that Mugi's ideal and she wants to be with Mugi and give him a shot.
What? She admits to herself that they have nothing in common. How is that not fucked up?
Oh, I'm sorry. They added layers of depth to their relationship dynamic. Like, they should do that with Hana. And my whole problem is there's nothing there. It's just literally, he was nice to me. I want to go out with him now. And obviously he doesn't feel the same way, but I don't know how he feels because we never get his perspective. He's the most boring, bland, vanilla character, and she's the most boring, bland, vanilla girl, and they have the most boring, bland, undeveloped love story between the two of them. And I get why, because this whole sense of idealism between the characters, like, she worships him as the ideal man, Mugi worships Akane as the ideal woman, and Mocha worships Mugi as the ideal man. Like, there's this whole, Echan worships Hana as the ideal partner. They all literally worship each other as like the ideal partner. But at least the other ones have like depth. There's negatives and positives, and there's actual like things in their nuance in their relationships.
Exactly. And I'm just saying, why is that to be some super negative, like,
it's not that it has to be negative. It just has to have nuance. You're literally it has nuance. No, you just see the negative. There could be nuance. There could be nuance. Like, maybe, I don't know, maybe he feels like some other kind of way. It doesn't have to be a negative kind of way. Maybe he thinks she's just a little sister. He doesn't say it. I don't know how he feels about her because we never get his perspective. So I can agree. If we got his perception, yes, then maybe it would be more clear, whatever. But I don't know. I don't like the fact that you're saying that has to be some kind of like. I'm sorry, if you're doing a romance story, yes, you can't have a plain vanilla, like, oh, I love him because I love him. No, if you're doing a romance, you have to think out your romance. It has to be nuanced. It has to have negatives and positives. It has to be strong and unique, and there has to be dynamics to it. It can't just be, I love him because that shit'll fly in a comedy or a romantic comedy, but no, you keep going on about how this is a hard realistic drama, and I'm not. No, if it's a hard realistic drama, then it can't be like it's a hard realistic drama, but it also has like this weak moment of no, that's the weakest part of the series. It needs to level itself out and fix that and address the fact that Hana and Kanai's relationship is shitty and has no dynamic to it. It's like the weakest romance in the series. That's my problem with it. Like anytime their romance is brought up, it's the most boring vanilla shit.
Excuse me.
That doesn't fly for a main girl. If she was like a side character, fine, but no.
First of all, I don't think. While I would like to get his perception of everything that happened, and who knows, maybe that might happen next episode. Because it's already happened. It only happened once, but which means it can happen again. And I don't see another more opportune time to see his POV. You know, there's no better time than right after she confessed to him. But yeah, I don't think the relationship has to be like super nuanced and have all these positives and negatives, only because I do stand by the fact that like not every relationship has to have like super unique set of like problems and fucked upness in it, but also at the same time, first of all, like that one-sided love, like we all knew from like the get-go, like it wasn't going to work out. It was for multiple reasons. Like one main being is that like he is X amount of years older than her, and you know he works at the school that she attends. There is no way that he would logically be like, yes, let's date. Like it wasn't going to happen. It worked
for Mugi and Akane
because she's like a fucking sociopath, so it doesn't matter. Like, which is my whole point exactly. It's like they have like this really deep and intricate relationship, but like a huge part of it has to deal with the fact that she's fucking crazy.
Good, and that adds character to her.
Yes, and I'm not saying that's bad, but at the same time, them getting together was like not a thing. So it's like, so it makes sense if he's seen as like the most like, you know, nice, heartwarming, like simple, loving relationship, because it's when that's not going to happen. Like when you look at it, it's just not going to happen. Yeah. And the whole point is like the fact that it's not going to happen because of all these reasons, which has to do with everyone else's like relations with each other, including Akane's relationship with what's his face, with Kanai. So yeah, that's why I really don't care, because it's like I feel like it doesn't need to be nuanced. They don't need to have any extra shit in it. Like I don't think it's gonna make it any better. Like this is the one. Ironically, it's going to be. I think it's gonna be one of the cases where it's just going to like that would be adding drama for no reason in my mind. I know. It sounds.
I don't know why you're defending this romance so hard. Like you're the biggest Hana shipper I've ever seen in my life.
Because I feel like it's so unnecessary for you to come at it. It's like that's not like. You're like missing.
No, I'm not missing. I get what the point is, that it's an idealistic relationship, and so that you bringing negativity into the relationship makes it not so ideal. I get that. What my problem is you introduce all these other relationships that are so nuanced and so fleshed out, and this main quote unquote relationship that's supposed to be the focal point of everything is so shitty and bland and dry and no fleshing out or no nuance or anything. It's just there, and it pales in comparison to everything else around it. So yeah, ironically, if you kept it simple, like if it was just Akane, Kanai, and Mugi and Hana, and none of this extra shit, like I don't think everything besides those four is necessary in the show. If it was just those four people, the show would have been way better in my opinion. But then you introduce all these extra shit like Mocha and Echan Mocha's or Echan's cousin now, and the random dude that Akane was banging the other day. Like all this extra shit makes it that much more like it emphasizes how bland and boring and stupid Hana's obsession with Sensei is. It just makes it worse. It like exasperates it. If it was like this simple and it was just them four, then I can kind of get away with it. I'd be like, all right, well, you have a simple relationship contrasted with a complex relationship. But now you have like a simple, boring relationship contrasted with like 30 other relationships that are way more interesting than that simple one. So it's like,
I don't know. I feel like their relationship is important, that it has like a sense of purity, like in the sense that it's just not stained by like.
But yeah, but that's the point. Like if that was just that one, but we already have a one that's a sense of purity, and that was Mocha. Mocha and Mugi's relationship did what Hana and Mochi and Mugi's relationship did the whole purity aspect of that Hana and Sensei's relationship is trying to.
Yeah, but it got dirty at some point. It
got dirty, but then that's the whole point. It never really got too dirty because they never did anything. That's why Mugi stopped. He's like, I don't want to dirty this. So
I mean, while they didn't like outright fuck, but like to at least on Mocha's end, the damage has been done. Like now the facade's cracked. Like she's definitely slowly becoming undone. And I know they're gonna do an episode that, you know, goes into that. I hope they do, because that would be very interesting.
Anything more interesting than Sensei and Hana.
Whatever. Moving on.
Oh wait, one last thing. I do want to say that whole cousin thing with Echan's cousin coming in and stealing her away now is totally unnecessary. Totally unnecessary and totally just done as a plot device to like separate Echan and like leave no loose ends when Mugi and Hana hook up or whatever.
I literally just don't know. Just stop it. Another now I will admit, like, this is the new character too much.
Yeah.
Other
than that, good episode.
Yeah, solid episode.
Okay. Little Witch Academia. Shit. I'm so swept up in Kuzu no Honkai right now. I gotta unwind real quick and remember what the fuck happened. All right, so this was kind of a weird, really trippy episode where it was a Susie episode where she was working on a new potion that's supposed to bring out her inner power.
Yeah, Susie.
She's afraid to use it in case she fucked it up. So she originally tries to test it on Hana. Fucking who's no guy. She tries to test it on Akko, but she ends up not doing that and using it on herself. And she falls asleep and she can't wake up. They end up trying to wake her up for class. She can't wake up, so Akko and Latte just go to class. They come back. There's mushrooms everywhere, and it looks like Susie is just being consumed by a mushroom. So Latte recognizes what's going on and uses the spell on Akko to like send her into Susie's mind. And the spell is basically just her hitting her with a wand and knocking her out. So Akko ends up in Susie's like head, and she meets like her conscious, which is like the little, the angel and the devil, but they're both evil.
Yeah.
Obviously. Yeah. It's just that the angel is less cruel. Like the angel was like, I think we should kill everyone, but in a peaceful, non-painful way. And then that was like, no, we should make them suffer as much as possible. So they end up like taking a stroll through Susie's mind and meeting all the other like personality traits. What's that? Was it a Pixar movie or a Disney movie or something that was like this? With all the different emotions that the character had. I forgot what it was called. But it was like that. They just kept meeting all the different characters inside of Susie's head that were all different versions of her, like to the extreme. Like there was one, this is a version of Susie who wishes she could spit on everybody's face, so she just spits on Latte's face and walks away. And this is the version of Susie who wants to read the Twilight spin-off book and they keep doing this. So Akko's like ends up finding this trial that's going on where this judge version of Susie is like, every time a new idea pops in Susie's head, we have to judge whether it's a good idea or a bad idea and kill it. And Akko is like, no, we can't kill any of these Susies. We have to let them all live because any idea is not a bad idea. And then she fucks it up because, of course, she stops Judge from killing
all
them.
our ideas are bad ideas.
Yeah, she frees all the prisoners or whatever, and like, no, Susie can have all these great ideas and stuff. And they end up going to, in their search to find the original Susie to wake her up from this whole thing, they do a quick detour to the movie theater where they're like replaying all of Susie's memories as she sees them, and it's like this old 1920s Disney movie, like literally like Disney animated type movie, where she sees Diana is just like literally has like a nose that's like super long and stuck up and snobby, and then Akko is like this Mickey Mouse kind of character who just keeps fucking up and like slipping on banana fields, and everything up. But then it gets to the point where she remembers the memory where they first met on the bridge, and it's like this super detailed, well done, like romantic scene and stuff. So that was kind of touching. But then all the bad ideas end up combining into this blob, and the conscious reveals like, oh yeah, we have to kill some of the ideas because otherwise there's no individuality and they all fucking overpower each other. So Akko ends up having to find the original. She finds her, wakes her up, tries to wake her up with a kiss because she thinks it's like a Sleeping Beauty thing. And Susie was never really asleep, so she just rolls her head over, and Akko ends up banging her head against the and it ends with Akko waking up, and it's like the original first scene where she woke up, so you can't tell if it's a dream or not, but it's kind of implied that Susie knows that Akko was in her head. So it was a really trippy episode. I liked it. And it's about time Susie got her own episode.
Yeah, about time. Jesus, it took till episode 8 for that to happen. No bueno.
But other than that, great episode.
Okay, are you ready for like literally the fastest
fucking
fastest one ever? Fastest review of a show ever. Basically, this episode is a drama special on a TV in their world where Rui and Adam are the main characters. One the detective trying to find out who killed his partner. Has to do with like paintings, some hitmen. All these, by the way, these are all male idols from the same company, because it's not like they could find any actual actors apparently. So shout out to the voice actors for switching up the style. I mean, I know that's kind of their job, like that's what they're supposed to be doing, but it was nice to sound like Rui, who's usually sounds all like perfect and stuff. He sounds like more laid back and chill, and then Adam, who sounds like an idiot half the time, all the time. He actually, the voice actor gives him like good diction for once, so that was really cool. And towards the end, it has a very good twist. I just don't really care too much about this episode because it's not to do with the main plot. It felt like more like a filler episode, which is like, like it was like I said, and the plot at the story was, and the plot twist at the end was really good. However, this is not relevant to the main plot line, so it is what it is. I'm over it. Next.
Masamune-kun. So Masamune-kun was a mind fuck of an episode. I still don't know what the fuck happened in this episode. It picks up right where it left off last week, where they're looking for Neko because she ran off and doesn't have her meds, and they split up. Akko throws some shade at Masamune, and they end up splitting up. Masamune goes alone. He figures
it's Aki, by the way.
Aki. What did I say?
Akko.
Yeah, I'm always one episode behind. All right, so Aki throws some shade at him. So Masamune ends up thinking that Neko's gonna be at the school. So he goes to the school, and Aki also ends up meeting him at the school. They have this brief moment where Aki's like, "Oh, it must feel so bad to have your feelings rejected," or some crazy stupid shit, which I commend Masamune and not slapping the shit out of her as soon as she said that, because she
Oh my.
literally makes her living on refusing people and shitting on everybody who confesses to her.
Yeah.
So they end up they get hit, or Masamune gets hit with a like paper airplane, goes upstairs to the roof and finds Neko, because he remembered her saying that she loved a certain scene from a manga where the character was throwing paper airplanes from the roof. So he rescues her, and she collapses because she's ill, ends up getting taken to a hospital, and then meeting alone with Aki, and then again alone with Masamune to kind of express her feelings. And she tells him that this whole thing was just a fake. We picked your name basically out of a hat or whatever as a suitor because I wanted to experience love before I go overseas and have this important surgery where I might die or something. So I wanted to experience love before I took that chance. And this whole thing was an act. And then he leaves, and Aki, well, what happens? No, Aki has her moment where she's kind of reflecting on whether she loves Masamune, but then she recalls that she loves somebody else, which is the fat version of Masamune when he was a kid, because she wanted to like touch his chubby stomach or whatever. And then we get then it flashes back to Neko, where she pulls out a picture of Masamune when he was a kid and her when she was a kid, because she was fat when she was a kid. And there's like this moment where they're at a wedding together, which kind of alludes to what she had just told him being a lie. Yeah. And then then Masamune leaves his house to go on a journey to find himself or whatever. And another fat guy claiming to be Masamune shows up at Aki's house and like greets her. Like that whole episode, that whole ending scene fucked with my mind. So
yeah, I was just like, it's too much happening at the end.
Yeah, it was a lot of weird shit. Like I don't know now. I don't know what I thought I knew what the story behind Neko was. Apparently, I don't know what the story is anymore. I don't know what the story is with the new guy. I don't know what the story is with Aki rejecting Masamune when he was a kid. I don't know what the story is where he's gonna go. So maybe there's a time skip next episode.
Yeah, I mean, basically the impression we get is we don't know.
Yeah, this whole episode I liked how it did that though. It looked like everything was coming up to a wrap,
and then more questions.
2 minutes, it was like, nope. Now there's a billion more questions.
Yeah.
So I thought that was really, really well. It's better than it has any right to be as a romantic comedy. It's like literally making me. It's like it's almost a mystery at this point. Like I would classify this as a mystery.
As opposed to like a rom-com.
Yeah. So good episode. Good episode.
Yeah, agreed. I'm just sad that like Neko's gone. Like that literally depresses me because
I'm not so sure. I don't know if she's gonna just come back. I have a feeling she's still gonna be there. Gonna be in the scene.
God, I hope so. I love her so much.
Yeah. Seiren, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
This episode started a new arc, which was what's her name? Kyoka? Or yeah, I think it's Kyoka or Kyoko. I always get those mixed up. But anyway, it's her arc, and she's an underclassman. This episode was fucking weird. So it started off, and tell me if this rings any bells, Andrew. It starts off with them as kids, Kyoka and Soichi. Soichi and her are talking about magical girls, and he's a big fan of magical girls. And so much so that he's cross-dressing as one of his favorite magical girls, and they go to a park together, and he steals his sister's like even to the point where he steals his sister's panties and puts them on, and magical girl outfit and wand and everything, and he just pretends to be a magical girl. So then I'm immediately like, oh, Jesus Christ. So then it flash forwards to like the current time, and they're in high school, and he meets her. She shows up to the classroom, and they're like, oh, look, your friend is here. So he goes out to meet her, and she has the latest edition of the Magical Girl manga they used to read when they were kids. And apparently it so happens that the that the plot of the manga has turned from being sweet and innocent into very gory and fan servicey, and they lament on how magical girls have changed from being cute and innocent to very adult oriented. And there's even one scene in the episode where this girl runs up to her because she's crying about something, and to try to cheer her up, Kyoka gives her the Magical Girl manga, and the girl just cries even more, like, "Oh, I'm too young to be reading this kind of evil shit." So that was great. The whole episode was kind of really just them talking to each other about how things have changed since they were kids, and she asked him if he's romantically interested in anybody, and he kind of asked her. They're like, I get the impression they're just really close friends, which is weird because she had no role in this show whatsoever prior to this episode. But apparently they're like best of friends now because the plot needs them to be, and they've known each other for so long. And she ends up joining a home ec club where they basically just reuse old clothes repurpose them into cosplay outfits. And she joins that club. And that was the end of the episode. It wasn't really a very eventful episode, but it was a good episode. It was fun. I don't think it was as strong as the last arc's first episode with the whole gamer thing, but I do like the whole deconstruction of magical girls being the subject of this arc.
I'm just sad now. I'm sad.
Yeah, hopefully it's
oh God. Oh, is that me next?
Yep. Super Lovers.
All right. That is good. For some reason that just got me really depressed. Super Lovers. A lot of shit happens. A lot of stuff happens. So Ren spends the night with Natsuo, or intends to. Excuse me. And Haru is like, "Oh, what? Why is Ren not coming home?" And then the twin brothers, once again, they weigh in their whole opinions about like how he's just like fucking everything up as usual. Which I'm just like, I wish they would have more relevance to like this entire plotline, or have their own separate plot lines, because all it seems like is that they're there to like comment about the dynamic between Ren and Haru, and then they just go along their way. But anyways, so Ren is like, well, I can't fuck Haru, so I'm gonna fuck his cousin. And then Natsuo's like, okay. But then K-Twist, Haru has the key to Natsuo's room, or Natsuo's apartment, and walks in on them with their shirts off. Or I think just Ren has the shirt off. Then they get into an argument. Obviously, he's like, what are you doing about fuck my cousin? And then Ren's like, well, you don't want to have sex with me. And he's like, this is exactly the reason why I don't want to have sex with you. And he's like, I don't know what that means. And then he's like, oh, of course you won't understand. And then he's like, oh, so you're still going to stay here and have sex with him? And then he's like, I don't know, maybe. And then Haru's like, he's like, I'm letting you know, if you stay with him and sleep with him, like, don't you ever think about coming back home. And I'm just like, oh shit. Because usually he's all like mad at him, and he's just like frustrated, but that's the time he like literally threatened to like kick him out, which is like, that's pretty extreme for something that Haru would do. And Ren is immediately like, he immediately just is like, oh nope, I can't risk being I can't risk being kicked out, so I guess I'm going back home. And then just for like a while, they keep getting like mad at each other and having this argument where it's just like Haru's doesn't want to say it. Why? But he has to spell it out for Ren because Ren is still like a teenage boy who doesn't really understand much, and he definitely has a different mindset from most people. Yes, she definitely tends to be more calculating. So Haru's like, I'm mad at you because you're trying to fuck someone else, even though like I told you that I'm in love with you. And then he's like, and for some reason Ren is like, oh. So they eventually work it out. Ren apologizes, even though I think it was Haru's fault because it's like Haru should have been forthcoming to begin with instead of like driving Ren away as usual. And then the last 2 minutes is Haru like around the anniversary of his parents' death. He's like starting to have dreams of like his parents actually dying, which is kind of sad because like his parents seemed like lovely people, and it was a kind of very somber, and you can see it's like affecting him. Like he's starting to drink more and getting more irritable. So we'll see how that plays into his relationship with Ren, especially after this huge confrontation that happened this episode. Yeah, we'll see. It was a good episode. I enjoyed it.
Okay.
Next. for some good news.
Oh yeah, such great news. I love dropping shows. So I'm gonna drop Durara. And here's why. I usually like these types of shows. But in this case, I think that it was not consistent. Like the comedy was not there. It was hit or miss, but it was like hitting only 20% of the time. And ironically, I think the reason is that because it did this whole theme where it tried to be fantasy with its gods, and I like the theme of fortune telling and stuff. That's kind of unique and never been done as far as I know for a slice of life. But it didn't know how to handle that theme because I ended up finding out that the best moments of the show are the moments that had nothing to do with the fortune telling or any of that shit. It was the parts where it was just them being girls, or like the misunderstanding scenes where the other two girls love the captain and they're freaking out how much they love her and arguing over how much they love her. Like those scenes are the best. Every scene that was not about the theme of the show was a good scene. So I just feel like it was misused, and the latest episode was really boring. And I feel like it's going to take this more serious tone now. So it's not going to get any better, I figure. If you like these types of shows, go with Gochi Usa or, what was the other one? Kirino Mosaic. Those are way better. So, my opinions on that show. Next is Yojo Senki. Do you want to do it or should I?
I'll let you handle it, seeing how you literally could have said, I'm dropping Urara because...
No, you have to elaborate on it. Yeah, I'm dropping this later.
Well, girl, go ahead and elaborate me some Yojo Senki, please.
This episode was fucked up. If you didn't think Tanya was evil before... So this was like the most Nazi-esque episode where there is a rebellion in one of the cities that they've occupied, and the Republic forces have joined up with the rebellion, and Tanya's forces have been ordered to kind of squash the rebellion and burn down the city, basically. They want everybody dead. They issue like an evacuation order before they attack, and of course, because everybody in the city is like a rebel, they're like, fuck that, we're gonna stay here and fight. And then Tanya's battalion comes and massacres everybody, including I think at one point they massacre everybody, and then they're trying to, like, the Republican forces come in and try to evacuate the civilians, and then she gets the order to just kill everybody, like even the civilians and the women and the children, because they can be possible threats. And she's like, okay, yep, no problem. And then one of her own soldiers in her battalion comes up and is like, no, we can't do this. This is wrong. We're soldiers. And I love how she has the habit of beating the shit out of anybody who questions her orders, because she immediately beats the shit out of him and is like, no, look at that kid. If we let him go, then he's gonna join the rebellion and join the Republic forces.
Incredible eyesight, by the way.
Incredible eyesight for the kid from like 7 miles away. Just turned and looked at Tanya and the other guy with like such hate in his eyes. So I guess it's implied that she talks some sense into the guy, and he turns around and starts shooting the civilians marching out, and they open fire.
Yeah.
And it ends.
It's all implied. They don't show it.
Yeah, it's all implied. But yeah, it was some evil SS fucking Nazi shit that Tanya's on. Oh, and the best part was there was 2 twists in this episode. The first twist was at the end when the one guy shows up, was like, oh, look at these documents I found from a year ago on. There's like this paperwork filed on how we can justify fighting in a city and killing civilians. And like, oh yeah, that was written up by Tanya. So apparently she was the one who even way back in the day, like a year ago,
came up with
the idea of even being able to justify urban warfare legally. And the second twist came after the credits when somebody wakes up in the hospital in bandages, and they're like, oh, we found you at the bottom of the lake. You washed ashore. And wait, did you not see this part?
No, I didn't.
Oh my god!
Go on.
So like, you washed ashore, and we found you, and it's the dude who Tanya stabbed through the heart the other episode and took his gun, and all he can say is, "I saw God," and then his eye changes color like Tanya's eye, and he said, "I should kill the devil," and then I was like,
"Oh."
So there's gonna be some rivalry there.
That's a spicy meatball.
Yes. I did like how Tanya was kind of actually living up to her namesake of being evil and the devil and shit when she pulled that. I don't know if I should like Tanya or if I'm supposed to hate Tanya, because I really like Tanya.
Yeah, me too. I that was really awful and fucked up, but she I like that I like a woman with convictions. Like, if you're going to be evil, go all the way. That's why, even though I admit I don't like Akane from.
I was about to say Tanya and Akane should form some Legion of Doom or something. The Women's Legion of Doom.
Where one just goes around shooting people and the other one
steals all I don't like, which actually I thought I would like Victoria more, but I don't know, she doesn't do anything. Like, she's just always complicit in whatever Tanya wants to do.
Because never, she gets it. Because she fucking gets it. She
she gets what happens when you voice dissent.
Exactly.
But I would she has a position close to Tanya, and I don't know, I just don't know how she feels about the shit going on. Like, for all I know, she loves that she's killing everybody. I don't know. She never has an opinion or anything. She's just, in the background.
Mm-hmm.
I wish she would play, a voice of reason or something for Tanya. Or maybe we'll see her do stuff later. Or just do anything. She's not doing anything, at all.
I'm not bothered by her. Her presence doesn't, bother me. Okay, she's there. No, she's not. There's so much stuff going around that her being there is ruins the episode in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. I think that concludes everything that we had to talk about this week.
Yes, I believe it does. I hope you guys enjoyed this podcast. If you did, by all means, like and subscribe. It really helps out a lot. Yeah, and next week we'll be back with some more exciting stuff along the way.
Yes, final stretch.
Yeah, That's the final stretch. It lasts last 3 or 4 weeks, if I'm not mistaken.
I think this is last month, actually, March, because then stuff starts in April, the new stuff.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Why do I think it was going to be so, far from now?
No. We're changing it. Well, I'm not going to mention that just yet.
Yeah, but yeah. Well, that's all we have for now. Like I said, if you enjoyed it, you know which buttons to hit. And we'll see you next time. Bye.
I guess later.